breathe in. Can you smell it? That unique, intoxicating scent of ink, cotton, and linen. That is the smell of power. That is the smell of the American dream. Welcome to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing in Fort Worth, Texas and Washington, D.C., the only two places on Earth where it is legal to print the United States dollar. This is not just a factory, it is a fortress of finance, a cathedral of currency operating behind layers of security tighter than the Pentagon. Inside these walls, billions of dollars are created from nothing but raw materials every single day. But the journey of a banknote begins long before the ink hits the paper. It begins with the paper itself, or rather, the substrate. If you have ever accidentally washed a dollar bill in your laundry, you know it doesn't disintegrate like normal paper. That is because money isn't paper at all. It is fabric. Since 1879, the Crane Company in Dalton, Massachusetts, has held the exclusive contract to produce this material. The exact recipe is a closely guarded state secret, but we know the basics. It is a blend of 75% cotton and 25% linen. The cotton provides the durability, while the linen gives the bill its distinctive crispness and texture. But this isn't just cloth. During the milling process, high-tech security features are embedded directly into the fibrous mesh. Look closely at a $100 bill. That blue ribbon running down the center, that is not printed on the paper, it is woven into it. It is a 3D security ribbon composed of hundreds of thousands of microscopic lenses. When you tilt the note, the bells inside the ribbon change to 100s and appear to move. This is advanced micro-optics technology, impossible for counterfeiters to replicate with an inkjet printer. Furthermore, red and blue synthetic fibers are scattered throughout the pulp, ensuring that even the texture cannot be faked. Once this high-security paper arrives at the Bureau in massive rolls, each weighing thousands of pounds, it is treated like gold. It is counted, weighed, and inspected. If even a single sheet goes missing, the entire plant goes on lockdown. The Secret Service is notified. No one leaves until the discrepancy is found. Now, let's talk about the art. Before the machines roar to life, the money is born in silence, under the steady hand of a master engraver. These artists are among the most skilled in the world, training for over a decade to reach the level of master. They do not draw the president's face, they carve it. Using a graver tool and a magnifying glass, they cut lines into a soft steel plate. These lines are microscopic, dots and dashes that, when viewed from a distance, form the shadow of Franklin's eye or the feather of the eagle. A single portrait can take months to complete. Each engraver specializes in a specific element. One does portraits, another does lettering, another does the intricate scroll work. This division of labor is a security measure in itself. No single person knows how to engrave the entire bill. Once the master die is complete, the image is transferred to the printing plate through a process called siderography. Massive pressure is used to transfer the engraving from the soft steel master to a hard plastic Altos sheet and eventually to the curved nickel printing plates used on the press. These plates are polished to a mirror finish, ready for the ink. And the ink? That is another secret. The Bureau uses a special formula of ink manufactured right here in the facility. It is not just pigment, it contains magnetic properties. This allows vending machines and bank counters to verify the bill's authenticity magnetically. The ink is mixed in giant vats, black for the face, green for the back, and color-shifting metallic inks for the higher denominations. The color-shifting ink on the bottom right of a $50 or $100 bill changes from copper to green as you tilt it. This is due to metallic flakes suspended in the ink that reflect light at different angles. The first stage of printing is the offset phase. This is the background layer, the subtle peaches, blues, and oranges you see on modern bills. These colors are not just for aesthetics. They are complex geometric patterns designed to confuse digital scanners and copiers. The offset press runs at high speed, laying down these background washes on sheets that hold 32 or 50 bills at a time. The sheets fly through the machine, drying instantly under UV lights. But the bill still looks flat. It looks like play money. To give it the soul of a dollar, that distinct
Tactile
raised
authenticity.
texture that your thumb recognizes instantly, it must survive the violence of the Intaglio press. This is where the magic happens. This is where the money becomes real.
We now enter the heart of the factory floor, dominated by the roaring giants known as the Simultan presses. This is the Intaglio printing phase, pronounced Intaglio. Intaglio is the opposite of a rubber stamp. In a stamp, the ink sits on top. In Intaglio, the ink sits inside the deep grooves engraved into the metal plate. The process is violent. The paper is fed between the inked plate and a hard impression cylinder. The machine exerts a crushing force of 60 tons, or roughly 10,000 pounds per square inch. This extreme pressure literally forces the cotton linen paper into the ink-filled grooves of the plate. The paper is embossed, sculpted by the metal and the ink. When the sheet peels away from the plate, the ink stands up on the surface in microscopic ridges. This gives U.S. currency its signature tactile feel. If you run your fingernail over the jacket of Benjamin Franklin, you can feel the ridges. This tactile authenticity is the first line of defense against forgery. A fake bill feels smooth. A real bill feels alive. The backs are printed first, the classic greenback design that has symbolized American economic might for a century. The sheets take 72 hours to dry before they are flipped over to print the black ink on the face. This waiting period is crucial. If the ink is wet, the extreme pressure of the second pass would smear the first image. The smell in this room is overpowering, a mix of solvent, metal, and damp money. After the Intaglio press, the sheets, now looking like real money, move to the inspection sector. In the old days, humans sat in rows, magnifying glasses in hand, looking for ink smears or folds. Today, that job belongs to Pack, the currency overprinting, processing, and packaging. This massive machine is a factory within a factory. First, it uses high-resolution cameras and advanced algorithms to scan every single bill on the sheet in a fraction of a second. It checks for ink density, color accuracy, and alignment. If a sheet has a flaw, say a drop of ink on Washington's nose, the computer marks it. The flawed sheets are not thrown away immediately. They are destroyed securely. But sometimes a flaw is detected after the serial number is printed. In this case, the bill is replaced with a star note. If you ever find a dollar bill with a star symbol at the end of the serial number, keep it. It means that bill was a replacement for a defective one during the printing process. These are rare and prized by collectors. Next comes the overprinting. This is the final layer. The machine stamps the Federal Reserve seal, the Treasury seal, and most importantly, the serial numbers. Every single dollar bill has a unique identity, a combination of letters and numbers that tells the Secret Service exactly when and where it was made. The serial numbers are printed in green ink using a letterpress method, which actually indents the numbers into the paper, pushing through to the back. This is another security feature. You can feel the numbers pressed into the bill. Now, the final cut. The sheets, each containing 32 or 50 bills, are stacked into piles of 100. A massive guillotine blade, sharp emaugh to shave with and powered by hydraulics, slices through the stack. It creates a sound like a thunderclap. Thwack! The blade shears through the linen paper effortlessly. In an instant, what was a stack of paper becomes a stack of cash.
Yes, sir.
The
10
vertical
million
and
exact.
horizontal
All right, begin
cuts
wrapping.
separate the sheet into individual banknotes. These notes are banded into straps of 100 bills. 10 straps are bundled into a brick of 1,000 bills. If these are $100 bills, you are looking at a brick worth $100,000. These bricks are then shrink-wrapped in heavy plastic. This is the moment the product becomes dangerous. The security in the packaging room is absolute. Cameras cover every angle. Mirrors are placed to eliminate blind spots. Workers wear pocketless clothing to prevent theft. Pallets of these bricks are moved by forklifts to the vault. This vault is a sight that defies comprehension. Floor-to-ceiling stacks of money, rows upon rows of pallets containing billions of dollars. It looks like a warehouse of Costco, but the product is pure wealth. From here, armored convoys escorted by federal agents will transport the cash to the 12 Federal Reserve banks across the country. Old, worn-out bills are shredded and replaced by these crisp new ones. The average lifespan of a $1 bill is only 6.6 years. A $100 bill lasts about 23 years. The factory never stops. The presses run 24 hours a day, churning out the lifeblood of the global economy. As you watch the final bricks being loaded onto the truck, you realize that money is ultimately just a manufactured product, a piece of cloth with some ink on it. Its value comes not from the material, but from the trust of the billions of people who use it every day. From the cotton field to the high-security vault, this is how the world's most powerful currency is forged.